Now we'll get into the big breaking story from the day. Fulton County sets Trump's bond at $200,000. The former president's legal team has reportedly accepted the bond. Interesting. Former president has received a bond amount of $80,000 for allegedly violating their RICO Act, $60,000 for 6 count of criminal conspiracy, 30 blah, blah, blah. It's $200K. You get the point. Trump may post bond as cash, though commercial surety, through commercial surety, or through Fulton County Jail's 10% program per the Monday bail posting. The defendant shall not violate the laws of this state, the laws of any other state, the laws of the United States of America, or any other local laws per consent bond order. They want to lock him up. That's where they're going towards. And everybody keeps telling me like, oh, it can't happen. Oh, it can't happen. And then it happens. They arrested his lawyers. But here's the bigger picture. Trump's going to win. Trump can win. I don't want to make a hard prediction, but you've got a whole bunch of outlets now panicking over this. I love this. Colin Rugg says CNN warns viewers that Donald Trump has a real chance of winning the general election against Joe Biden. Can you hear the panic? Let me play this clip from CNN for you guys.
University, 53% of the Fox News poll. Look at where DeSantis is in all these polls. Look how far back he is. He doesn't crack 20% in any of them. So in Iowa, you have that 20-plus point lead for Donald Trump. That's actually smaller than the lead we see nationally, where we see these leads of 35, 40, near 50 points in this particular case. Of course, the primary is one thing. If Trump wins the primary, can he go on and win the general election? And we've had 3 polls that have come out over the last week here. And I want you to take a look at how close this race is at this particular point. Granted, the general election is over a year away. The largest lead for Joe Biden is just 3 points within the margin of error. No clear leader. Look at these. 1 point, 1 point. If you go back at where we were at this point 4 years ago, Joe Biden's lead was high single digits to low double digits. This is significantly closer than where we were 4 years ago. So this idea that Donald Trump can't win the general election, I want you to lose that idea. This race is very, very close, and Donald Trump is polling better right now than basically at any point during the entire 2020 cycle.
And I got one more big piece of news for all of you. Remember that news story that came out that said 12th grade males are skewing conservative? Mm-hmm. What age is 12th grade? 18. And what is the voting age in this country?
Happens to be 18.
Hey, so how many of these, I'll put it this way. Young Trump supporters, they not all of them, but Trump supporters famously say they'll walk barefoot over broken glass to vote for Trump. Young Democrats won't do that.
Yeah.
They'll tweet, they'll get likes, and then when it comes to actual voting, they'll be like, I don't actually care. I just wanted likes on social media. I think what you'll see here is Trump's going to get a decent enough boost that is being missed in the polls among young conservative men between the ages of 18 and 21. These polls from CNN are missing these individuals right now. They're not polling them.
Yeah.
Let's take into consideration the polling errors in the past, skewing towards Democrat. That means Trump's probably up 3 or 4 points. Then add in the young vote that they're probably discounting, which is probably going to vote for Trump. I think Trump's on track to win as of right now. We will see. There's a lot that can change. We are an eternity away in political time, but I definitely see a clear path for Trump to win this one. And this narrative that keeps coming out from the Never Trumpers who won't stop whinging, and it's so annoying that Trump can't win. Mm-hmm. I got to tell you, man, with all due respect to Bill Mitchell for coming on the Culture War and debating, I had to unfollow him right away. I didn't follow him before, but I was like, he came here, he made his case. I agree with some of the points he made up at his end. I'm going to follow him. And then after a couple hours, I was like, I have to unfollow him because it's the most vile and ignorant nonsense I've ever seen. You can make a really good point about DeSantis being younger and having tact and succeeding while admitting his campaign is not doing well and still make your argument why I think he'd probably be better in the general. Bill does not do that. So I'm just like, I can't. The anti-Trumper on the left are actually less vocal, as it seems right now, than the anti-Trump in the Republican Party.
I think a lot of the there's still plenty in the establishment and the media. I think a lot of it has dissipated quite a bit. I observe a lot of rhetoric from, leftist circles, and a lot of them are kind of saying, I'm just not going to vote for Biden again. I held my nose and did it, and I'm just not going to do it. I think it might not necessarily be a huge shift of the youth towards in favor of Trump, but I think it's going to be a pull away from trying to support.
It reminds me of that
they can't stand.
I can only remember this reference vaguely, but that Simpsons episode where Abe Simpson was trying to date that old lady, and then she was like potentially going to date some other guy. And then in the end, he was like, pick me. Who do you want? She's like, I don't want either of you. And he goes, good enough for me. And so I feel like there's a lot of Biden voters who are going to be like you said, I held my nose, I voted for Biden, but this time I don't want any of them. And the Trump base is going to be like, that works for us. Don't vote Democrat.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
I think that will end up being a larger impact than they imagine. Although, not to go on to a totally different subject, but they do seem to be ramping up COVID just in time. I had never observed this for myself before. Again, I was little detached and ignorant for most of my life, and so I've always kind of heard that it's election season, something's ramping up, and it's turned out to be true.
I
kinda
think
wild to
I think
observe it.
until you start following politics regularly, you think, oh, they just say that. That's crazy, but it is a consistent pattern that something happens, and I'm not surprised that COVID is rearing its ugly head. Strangely enough, right now.
Here come the lockdowns. Here comes the mail-in voting. Here's all the stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Can we talk about that on here?
We'll see if the lockdown stuff actually comes into full swing. There's a couple hospitals in upstate New York that have brought back the mask mandates. Portland apparently never got rid of all of their mask policies. Nobody cares, which is actually a good sign.
I wonder how many places there are like that where all of it's still technically there and they just...
But in
people
some
are
ways,
just
do you
ignoring
think
it.
that would be a problem? Because when they
They
decide
can't
it's
enforce
bad,
it.
they'll say, oh, no, we have to enforce this. We never took it down, and so actually you're in violation. Here's a fine, here's whatever.
I don't think so. I think
I feel like you do need to see it through. Like, we should repeal all the mask stuff. It's good that we're ignoring it, but we should completely
I think
undo
we need
it.
to
It
find
should
out
be on
where
the
it is
books.
and like advocate to, get it.
Get it down.
Yeah. I guess I couldn't come up with the word for it.
let me show you this tweet. Well, we have a little gap here. Michael Tracy tweeted, It's silly to declare as foreordained truth that Trump can't win when the official losing margin in 2020 was 42,918 votes in 3 states. Trump actually outperformed polls in 2020 to a greater extent than 2016, and Biden's support in 2024 is much likelier to shrink than grow. He's completely correct. This guy doesn't like Trump. Not a Trump supporter, but he's right. Trump barely won in 2016. Now, the Trump supporters like to say, no, it was major electoral victory. He had tons of votes. No. It was something like 70,000. What was it, like 80,000 votes or something in 3 states? In 2020, he only lost by 42,918 in 3 states. Trump does not need to recover that many more votes. When you look at how bad Biden is doing, Afghanistan really screwed over Biden, freaked everybody out. And now where the economy is at, yeah. I'm not saying people are going to vote for Trump. They're going to be like, I voted for Biden. That was a mistake. I'm voting Trump. But if Trump gets the same 75 million votes, he wins.
Yeah.
They don't have the lockdowns anymore. And there's going to be a lot of apathetic voters who are like, I just don't care anymore.
Yeah. And I think there are a lot of mainstream institutions that are aware of this. The other day when it was the anniversary of the Inflation Reduction Act, I felt like NPR talked about nothing but, because they're trying so desperately to say, this has been a good presidency, good things have happened, we've passed great policies, please stop questioning us, please stop doubting us.
Yeah.
And it's just not there. If you have to have a full-fledged radio campaign all day long, then obviously I don't think it's speaking for itself.
Right. I was about to say so. You got
No, go ahead.
No, it speaks for itself, though. If you have to sit there and be like, no, look, it should just be pretty apparent. When I was making more money than I ever had in my life, and then Trump did his like tax cuts where it affected my bottom line, I noticed that immediately. It was great.
That was the only thing. I had friends who identify as like, very left liberal be like, well, I guess this is good. I got this extra money from Trump. So, and then they never talked about it again.
And you love how they personified it as, it was a cut for like millionaires and billionaires. Like, no, that was something for everyone, but they just got more of their own money to take home. And I was at the point in time I still had TDS, so that was kind of.
Can I ask who you voted for in 2020? Did you vote for Biden?
Oh, in 2020, no, I voted for Trump.
Oh, okay. So
in 2016, I voted for Bernie in the primary, and then I voted for nobody.
Oh yeah.
Because that's interesting. I think there will be a lot of people who just will be like, I
me.
can't vote for Trump, but I don't want to vote for Biden. I'm staying home.
Well, I think that's going to happen quite a bit here. And I think that at the end of the day, for the most part, people are going to vote for whoever is the Republican nominee. But I think on the left, you're going to see more people deviating to a third party candidate. So
Right. I think something
we can work with that.
Yes, definitely. I think something that gives me pause, at least lately, if we've had James Klug on the show before, and he works with Lisa Reynolds right now. He has been interviewing people on the Santa Monica Boardwalk. And the attitude in 2020 was very much anti-Trump. The attitude in 2020 is very much anti-Joe Biden, generally speaking. Not as much like, oh, I'm going to go and vote to get back at Trump, but like I'm I can't do this anymore. Like this is cutting into my bottom line. It's cutting into my life. You know, my business will shut down, and I'm not going to vote for this. It's been to the point where people are like openly saying like, yeah, I'm going to vote for Trump on the Santa Monica boardwalk. Like that didn't used to be a thing. It is now. So I feel like you're right. Like a lot of people are just going to not. They don't have like that drive. They've been at home. They've been working, and so they don't have the drive to go and vote. You know, and actually go and do that like they did in 2020 when that was just like all only you could think about. You know, so I think we have. I just to be my own 2 cents, I think we will be able to do a lot better just because people are not driven to go and vote right now.
I think that people really were paying attention a lot more to the mainstream media in 2020, which they were able to capitalize on too because COVID. You know, everyone they were putting up death tolls like football scores, and people were absolutely captivated by that. They could not look away, and they were locked in their homes in a lot of instances. So they became like, I mean, we saw the absolute insanity surrounding not Chris Cuomo, Governor Cuomo, and you know, I'm a Cuomo-sexual. People were just but they were going absolutely insane.
Now that you've said that,
yeah,
they can clip it and they will put it on the internet for you.
Oh, well, great. Well,
that's why it's always you gotta be careful when you're quoting.
Oh no, I mean, I've been through worse. It'll be all right. But people absolutely were losing their minds and talking about how they had, you know, crushes on Anderson Cooper and Governor Cuomo and. Because everyone was just in their
Q-tips.
four walls.
Remember the Q-tips?
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, the swab
Cuomo
thing.
brothers with the giant Q-tips. And
then
my favorite was when the nurses were dancing on the graves of the COVID dead. Remember that?
Oh yeah,
Mine was
favorite?
when Andrew Cuomo did a bunch of press conferences and he wore a polo and you could see his nipple piercings. That was such a fun COVID moment.
Jeez.
What a crazy time we all lived through.
Are you serious?
Collectively. Yes, look it up. There are screenshots.
Wow. I'm not going to do that, but
the
okay.
corporate press got really mad at me when I said the nurses were dancing on the graves of the COVID dead.
I remember that.
Because I think that strikes straight through. It was an arrow right through their chainmail, just ripped right through. It found that point of entry, right in. But it's that meme of the knight with the thin, you know, he's got the thin strip in his helmet and the arrow right into it. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.